Good morning, everybody, and thank you for joining me here today at Krista So Crafty. I'm Krista, and I appreciate you joining me here. If you're enjoying these type of videos, please feel free to click on the subscribe button. I'd love you to join my community. If you like this video or any other video, please make sure you click on the thumbs up below each of the videos and click on that little bell, and it'll notify you when I upload some new videos. All right, guys, so here I've got some little rubber duckies. I found them in Design Space, and I'm just going to print off a sheet of them. I'm going to use the print then cut function, and I thought I'd show you. So we're ready to go. Now I have some other ones over here, but I've already printed them and stuff. So just going to click on Make It, and we'll come to this screen, and you'll see that there's a box, a black outline around the ducks. And all I need to do is just go down to the bottom right and click continue. At this point in time, we need to click on send to printer, and this screen will pop up. Now, a few things that you can do or change. I like to leave the bleed on. If you leave the bleed on when it goes to the point where it's cutting it out, theoretically there should be no white outline around it. It should just be yellow. So the yellow will go all the way to the edge. If you don't want that, then just turn the bleed off. The other thing is this system dialog. If you click on that and then click print, it goes into your printer settings. And in here you can choose your printer and then click on preferences. And then you can make lots of changes or no changes or whatever. So you can change your page to landscape, you can change your paper type, your quality, your color if you want just black and grayscale or color. You can decide how many copies you want, and then you just click OK. I'm not going to make any changes because it's fine the way it is for me. I'm going to click print, and now this should work. And so now we'll go over to our printer. Of course, Tux has got to check things out here. And our little duckies will print out. And now all we need to do is just take them and we can put them on our mat. Now this part here, you want to be very careful that you take your page and line it right up in the exact corner and make sure that it is lined up right down the edge like that. I just press it down a little bit. Now we go back into Cricut Design Space. We're going to click on medium cardstock because that's what I'm using. And now we're ready to go. We can put our mat in. Make sure it's laying down. A little interesting to do with one hand. My flashing arrow button is working. Oops, see, it didn't work. Hold on. Let's try this again. There we go. Now it's loading. Okay, and now we can just click on the flashing C. And now what the Cricut will do is you'll see that a light will come on, and it's going around and checking the perimeter for these black lines. It's figuring out where the page is so that it can cut out the ducks in this case and get a perfect cut. So it's just about done. It's just making sure it's going to be cutting in the right spot. This is a fun little thing you can do. You can make stickers this way. You can make cutouts like I'm doing. These are for cupcakes. They're cupcake toppers, so I'll show you the rest of the process in a few minutes. But there's many things that you can use this for. Okay, so now it's ready to go. And we'll just click print, or sorry, it will cut it. Okay, so it's all done cutting. Now before I push the flashing arrow, I always go and make sure that they have cut, which they have. So now I'm going to push the arrow and I'll remove them from the mat. So again, I'm just going to flip over my mat and I will remove these. Lift the mat away from the paper and they should just pop right off, just like that. Just put that under there for a moment. And now, ta-da, we have our little ducks. I keep wanting to call them rubber ducks. They look like a rubber duck, but they're paper ducks. But here we have our ducks, just like this. They are so cute. I will show you the next step into making these cupcake toppers. Okay, so now that we got all our ducks cut out, I was just going to ask where they were, but they're right here. They're upside down. Now we're going to need a skewer. So one skewer, just bought this from the dollar store in a big package, so I'm going to have tons. One skewer will be enough little sticks for 3 ducks. Okay, so all I do is I have my little cutters here, and all I'm going to do is just cut off that point like that. And then I take a measuring device of some sort. I've got my little ruler here. And I just cut these at 9 inches. So I'm just gonna mark 9. I don't know if you can even see that. There we go. So I did 9 inches, or 9, 18, and 27. And then all I do is, again, with my little, these are just little wire cutters I picked up at the dollar store, I think. I'm going to cut off this little end piece, like that. And then I just line up my little mark with the very cutting edge here. And I have a nice little stick. Do that one more time. So 3 cuts basically, and you have 3 sticks. Okay, so I have 6 ducks here. I have 6 sticks right here. And the other thing we're going to need, so I have my ducks, I have my sticks, and I like to take and put, so once I glue the stick on to whatever it is I'm doing, I like to take and put either another opposite piece on the other side or just a little rectangle and put it over top of the stick just to cover it up. So I just have scrap paper here. I'm going to cut a strip. There's no magic number for this. I just kind of make it about that wide. So probably, this is just under 1 inch wide, so about 1 inch. And then I just take a pair of scissors and cut it approximately there. So each little piece is going to be about 1 inch by 1 1/4 inch. And that's going to be big enough to cover up the stick on the back. Okay, so I just need 2 more of those. And you don't want to cut them too long, because what will happen is you've only got so much room here. So you'll, whoops, I got a sticker on me. You don't want it too big. I use hot glue for this stuff, this step. So I'm just going to bring you in a little closer so you can see exactly what I'm doing. All right, so I take my duck and I flip it over, and I'm just taking and I'm lining it up between this 2 inch kind of area here, just like that. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my glue stick, I'm going to sneak it in here, and put a strip of glue. Take my little stick and I put it in there, and then I spin it. So when you spin it, what that does is it gets the glue all the way around. And then what I'm doing is I am just going to move you here, lining up that stick right on that middle, that center line. Okay, and that is that. So I'm just going to move that one aside. And then all of them are the same. So again, I'll move it up here a little bit more so you can see. So I just kind of make it so that there's enough even space on both sides, so I know that's pretty much center. Ooh, boy, did I ever wobble on that. So I'm just gonna roll this in here, try to straighten that up again, and then just spin this a little bit, and then get that right in the center, on that center line. And that's number 2 done. We'll just keep going. All right, so that's the last one. So I'm just setting these to the side and letting them dry a little bit, cool down. So here's our first one. It's still a little tiny bit tacky, but that's okay. So then what I do is I just take this little paper. Again, it's like 1 inch by 1 1/4, and I just kind of squeeze it a little bit so that, not fold it, but just squeeze it so it's got a little bit of a divot there, I guess, so to speak. And I'm going to bring in my glue. I'm going to run a bead of glue down both sides, not a whole bunch, just a thin bead of glue. And then what I do, I bring back in our little duck here, and I turn them on its side, and then kind of drop it down, get it where you want it. See how it's just right about there? And then just push in on those sides, and that helps to cover up the glue mess on the back. Okay, just get rid of that string. And there's another little duck. So I'll show you that again. Okay, so here's my little duck. Here's a little paper. Just going to give it a gentle little squeeze. Gonna bring in my glue gun and put my glue. Turn it over, and then just drop it down and just get it centered on there the way I want it, and then push down on both sides like so. And that's just how I'm doing this one. I mean, I'm sure there's lots of other ways to do it, but this is how I'm doing it for these ones. And here's the last one. Give that a little gentle squeeze. And yes, I see there's a little dog hair or something hanging off my little glue gun, but it's staying on the glue gun, so put this on here and press it down. And there we go. That is it. Our little ducks are done. Okay, you know I'm gonna have to do it. I have all my ducks in a row. Well, they're not technically in a row, but I know where all my ducks are. So these are all the little ducks, and again, these are to go on top of cupcakes, so they will just stick in like that. I think they're cute. Alright guys, so I was doing some checking around and I come across these gem stickers from the dollar store. And I'm thinking those might be nice if we put, I don't know, 3 or 4 kind of right there. I don't know, what do you think? So this is kind of what I've come up with. So we don't know the gender of the baby. So I thought if I put a necklace, so to speak, on half and a little blue bow on the other half, I think that's kind of cute, being as we don't know if it's a boy or a girl. So that's what we're going to do. So we will take one of our little ducks, and we'll take 5 or 6 of these little bead things, the gems, sorry. And then I'm just going to put them across like that. And there's our girl. So I'm just going to continue on with all these girl ones, and then when I get the girl ones all done, then I will come back and I will show you all the boy ones. Sometimes you have to give them a little pull. Stretch that adhesive out a little bit. There we go. All right, here's our last one. Our last little ducky. Put her necklace on her. All girls need to have some bling, right? There we go. So now we'll start on the boys. So all I'm going to do is just take this little ribbon and somehow tie some little bows. Some itty bitty bows. And of course my fingernails are not being very cooperative right now. There we go. No, maybe not. Oh my goodness. Okay, start over. Give a little bow and go around and go through. Honest, I do know how to tie a bow. This is just so small. Okay, now it's not very nice right now, but it will be. Just have to give it a few little tugs like this and straighten this out. Just going to grab my scissors and give that a little snip. And I'm just going to try to turn this side of this bow around. It'll just make me happy. Like that. There we go. That's better. So again, we're just going to do this. Perfect. And then I'm just going to give it a little trim. Just going to go so up there and up there. And then we'll bring in a little boy duck. And we're just going to glue it on right there. Sorry, moving the camera. So we'll just put a little dot of glue. And then we're just going to lay that in there like that. And there we have our dapper little blue little boy. We have our dapper boy ducky. So I'm just going to continue on and do that with the rest. Gee, I wonder why I can't cut ribbon with my scissors. Oh my gosh. Let's try these. I bet you they'll work a lot better. Well, just like that. All right, so we have another one to glue onto our little ducky. All right, I'm just about to make my last little bow here. I think I've kind of got it figured out. Of course, I'm going to do it on camera. Now I won't be able to do it, but we'll give it a shot and work around here. Yep, works every time. Get on camera and doesn't work worth a darn. So let's try this one more time. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to make sure they're laying nice. Give them a little bit of a pull. And like that. And I had to go get some different scissors again, but these ones cut nice. And like that. So we're all done with that. So now we can bring in our little ducky and our hot glue. Let's see, try not to wreck everything here. Just a little dollop. And we'll set that little bow on there. Just like that. So cute. All right, last one. That was a lot of little tiny bows to make, but it was so worth it. These are so cute. Get the strings off of there. So again, this is the little boy, and this is the little girl. I think they are just adorable. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. Thanks again for joining me, and happy crafting, everybody.